welcome to my journey and to another weigh-in video. So, y'all remember last week, it was like 4 pounds I gained, remember? And I come on one day with a video saying, I think I had pinpointed my problem, and so I think I have. We'll talk about it in a minute, in case you didn't see that video. I don't want to be repeating myself, but I don't know. So anyway, let me tell you how I did today. I weighed in at 252.6 for a loss of 5.4, and that puts me at 124.5. 0.5 away from my 125 pound button. Gosh, just a measly 0.5. I'm gonna have it next week. This little chilly. I'm feeling like I might need a jacket. We were so hot yesterday. Here we are, cool and breezy this morning. Of course, that don't. Well, it is cloudy. I think we got good chance of a thunderstorm. Oh Lord, have mercy! That thunderstorm that came through a couple nights ago was a beast. It was terrible. Listen, the rain was going sideways and beating up against these windows right here, up and under this porch. I was like, daggum. So I don't think the ones today are supposed to be like that, if we get them, but it is cloudy. Anyway, we was talking about weight. Whatever. I said I think I found out my problem, and that was I've been trying to fit into David's world instead of creating my own. And so I set about in my mini plan to create my own world, to cook for him. But if I need to cook a second meal, then guess what? I just need to cook one, because I just have to do what I have to do and quit being so daggone lazy. Well, hold on. I'm going to start this yawning business. And it's just easier to be lazy and eat what he's got instead of worrying about if I got what I need. If I make a casserole for him that doesn't have enough protein in it, it's easier for me just to eat it instead of seeing if I need to make myself an extra protein. You know what I mean? And that's going to stop. If I get protein from it, that's great. Like this week's menu turned out, it worked out perfectly. I mean, I still need to supplement during the day, but that's okay, because I don't want to plan 3 meals exactly where I need my protein, because I do a lot of times require a snack. I do require it in between lunch and supper. I get hungry. That's too long of a period of time to go without food. I think it is. 7 hours, I think that's too long to go without food. Unless you're in bed asleep and don't know it. That's too much. Now, there have been some days where I've been fine. Whatever I've eaten has held me. Don't mean I got enough protein necessarily. It just means what I ate was sufficient enough to keep me from needing a snack. Or I got busy, or I got gone, or something of that nature. But usually I'd hold on. Listen, I keep cutting away because them's not pretty little kitten yawns. And I don't know if I got enough sleep. I just don't know if my sleep is restorative. You see what I'm saying? I just don't feel like it is. And I'm on CPAP, but I just don't feel like I just don't think it's right. I don't know. Oh, here comes the slab work truck. That's that fan with all the ladders on top. It's old and loud. But, so, I was sitting back there and I was like, what makes it easier sometimes to, like, stick to our diet? Now, I don't listen. I don't care if you call it a diet or if you call it a lifestyle. This diet is my lifestyle. So, I mean, to me it's a diet. I've had to change the way I eat normally and my normal way is what got me so fat. So anything that veered from that is a diet. That's where I stand on the subject. So why is it sometimes easier to stay on it than it is other times? I don't know. Well, there's all kinds of things that affect us. Like, well, stress or being tired or hormones or just situations we're in. I don't know what else. Those things can affect our food. And sometimes we're just not strong enough to withstand those pressures. It just is a fact. It's a fact. I'm not, listen, if I was strong enough to withstand all the pressures thrown at me that would affect my food, I would have lost my weight within the first year. I would have just knocked it out. Maybe not 200 pounds in a year, but you get what I'm saying. You get my drift. It wouldn't have taken 5 years and a weight loss surgery to try to do it. Well, this week, I can say I've not had like stress. I've not had hormones that I know of as far as getting ill about things. With that other hormone issue, that ship has sailed. Listen, that's one ship I'm glad to have been on. The one that sailed. I don't think anything that made me veer off of my plan of attack, because I went at it as a plan of attack. I went at it with all my weapons out. You hear what I'm saying? Hold on, he's gonna turn in front of us. I thought maybe he'd be louder at accelerating. Won't be long, and it'll be school time. Listen, Sebastian was with me the other day, and we went to Walmart's to get him a book bag. Well, I asked him, did he want to go, like the day before he was here? He said, no, I still like my book bag from last year. That's the one I ain't got. It's Mario. I said, well, what if they had Minecraft? Well, I want to go look. I'm like, okay. So, but I knew they did because I've seen them on the website. So I was hoping to have them in the store. So we went to the store, and as you go in the front, they had a display of book bags, which I knew they had, plenty of. And I saw one. Oh, I like that. I said, well, okay. So we put it in the buggy. I said, let's go over here and look and see if there's any other ones. So we went over there, and there was one, and he didn't go for it. He didn't even, like, oh, I like that one. Then he saw one that was like clear plastic. He said, I like this. I said, you like that one? I said, everybody can see your stuff. He goes, no, I like it. I said, you don't care if everybody sees your stuff? No, I like it. I said, well, let's put the oven back. So we put the oven back. And we were looking, and then there was another one not beside the other ones, right? I said, oh, well, there's another one. And he looked, and as soon as he seen it, his face lit up. It was a combination of regular book bag and clear. So the whole back of it was regular, not canvas, but the stuff they're made out of, nylon or whatever. And then the front pouch was the clear. Oh, he loved it. And it came with like a keychain on it and like a pencil case that was attached to the outside, so it was a good size. And then they called it a lunch bag on the inside, but it's really a pouch. It's really nothing to put lunch in. So we got that, and I thought we'd go over and look at the clothes. But what was I saying? I said, we'll go look at the clothes. And when I was going, I spotted a Minecraft shirt. Minecraft is a video game. And him and his daddy play it together. Well, he saw that thing. He went over there. He goes, this? I said, yeah. Well, he picked it up. I said, well, no, we have to wait and find your size. So we found his size. And we looked around. There was Pokemon. He wasn't interested in that. Well, they have one of them little round things that's got t-shirts in it, graphic t-shirts. And he saw one with Transformers. So I said, you like that? He said, yeah. So he got that. I said, well, drove around there and see if you see anything else. Well, he seen one more. No, it wasn't another t-shirt. It was boxers. They had an end cap of novelty boxers. Marble and all kind of things. They had Minecraft, a 4-pack. They were so cute. He wanted them. So we got him them. So we got that part of his school supplies. And so he was in the bag. We were going to get him some more ice cream sandwiches because he eat them other ones up. And we was in the back, you know, well, I don't know where they put y'all stuff, but at the back beside the milk and stuff, they got a big shelf section built in that they put all their marked down baked goods. And we was walking by and I didn't say nothing. He looked, he said, ooh, cookies. It's those Loft House type cookies, the iced sugar cookies. He saw those. I said, well, get them. And then beside it was some chocolate donuts. I said, well, do you want the, and the boy, oh my gosh, he is a donut monster. He loves donuts. Like the little Sweet 16 donuts, which they don't make that brand no more. Whoever makes them, I don't know. Y'all know the little powdered donuts, the little chocolate donuts. He loves the chocolate ones. I said, well, do you want the, these cars is getting on my nerves. Do you want the chocolate donuts or do you want the ice cream sandwiches? He wanted the donuts, so that's what he got. Okay, so that night, the night before, that night, before that day, am I making sense? RJ said he's having a hard time sleeping. And he's like playing his Switch, which will let him fall asleep, playing his little video game. I mean, he's on vacation. And RJ said he thinks he's picking up his sleep habits because RJ's up late. Well, I put him to bed and I woke up at 4:30. That kid was, he was sitting in here in my rocking chair with the blanket, David's blanket, which is a comforter, pulled up around his neck and just his little head sticking out, watching TV. And he was just watching what was on. And what was on was Give Me a Break. Y'all remember that? Neil Carter, Give Me a Break? Where she was the nanny or, I don't know what you would call her, housekeeper for the, wasn't he a policeman? And they had like 3 kids, something like that. Anyway, he was watching that. I said, boy, what you doing in here? He said, well, he done slept. I said, well, it's too early for you to be up. You better go get in that bed. So he went in there and he got in the bed. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't know whether he slept when he went to bed and I went to bed between then and 4:30 or not. He could have been up all night for all I know. So he went there and laid down and I went there and sat in the chair. I didn't think nothing of it. So a little while later, I walked by to go to the bathroom or something. I said, looked in there and he sat up and he just looked at me. I said, what are you doing? I said, boy, you got to sleep. He laid down, pulled the covers up. I come back by to get in the shower. He just looked at me. I said, listen here, I am getting in the shower. Don't you get out that bed. I said, go to sleep. So I got my shower. I went down, I got dressed. I come back by. He's still laying there. I said, get up. It was like 6:30. I said, get up. So he got up. Well, I told him, I said, well, if you fall asleep today, you have to go back to Daddy's house because I can't have you roaming my house at night awake while I'm asleep. I'm not comfortable with that. So if you fall asleep, you have to go back to Daddy's so Daddy can watch you. Because Daddy stays up later than I do. Okay, I'm not going to sleep. Well, he'd sit there and watch his show, and then he'd come over there and watch TV. He laid on the couch. Well, then he laid on the floor. I said, you sleeping? I'm not sleeping. Well, he was wiggling because he can't be still. And he got up on the couch. He was wiggling, and all of a sudden he got still. And I'd get up every now and then, and I'd peek over at him. I'm not sleeping. So I knew then. I got up, I went over, had his eyes shut. I said, all right, get up. We're going to Daddy's house. That woke him up. He said, no. I said, I told you, you can't be sleeping here all day, because it was only like 1 o'clock. He'd have been sleeping all day, then he'd have been up all night. And I can't have it. I said, you got to go to Daddy's house. Well, when I tell you, we were not out of this driveway before he was asleep, I am not joking. He got in, he buckled up. I started pulling out the driveway. I looked back at him in the rearview mirror. His head was down and he was out. I was not to the end of this driveway. And I parked over here on the side of the house. So by the time we got there, he was zoned. RJ come out. He was picking his arm up. It was just falling. Well, he was tickling his nose, rubbing his face, doing anything he could to try to wake him up, calling his name. He was out of it. So then he like did something, messed with him, and then RJ did something. I can't remember, but it tickled Sebastian. He had got awake, but he hadn't opened his eyes. And so then he started laughing with his eyes still shut. And so he got out. I told RJ, I said, good luck. He said, I'm going to need it. He told me, he said, that night, he said, well, I managed to keep him up all day. He said, I had to pull out all the stops. He said, we did this and we did that. And then we pulled out this game. And then he got all excited about it because he likes Mega Man. He goes, there was a couple times I even flicked cold water in his face. Anything to keep him awake, because we got to get him back on the schedule. He's going to start school, and if he's up all night and has to go to school during the day, he's going to be miserable. He's going to be miserable. And so RJ said when it was bedtime, he made him get a hot shower, eat some food. He said he just zoned out, and he was still asleep at like 7:30 the next morning. So he said he hoped he got it back on track. I hadn't talked to him this morning, so I don't know how last night went. But listen, I hope he's back on it. He's coming back Sunday. Wish that's the day I was going to, because I told him, I said, you can come back, but you got to go to Daddy's today. I said, you can come back, and I was going to tell him Sunday. I wanted to wait and see how his sleeping was going. But RJ said Holly had a paper due, and she could really use some peace and quiet. And Sebastian's not always the most quietest child, at least not at RJ's house. He's pretty quiet here. He can get wound up, but he stays wound up at RJ's house. So he's coming back Sunday. Now RJ and my Holly and Jacob were here yesterday. She called me yesterday morning. She said, what you doing? I said, well, I am on my way to Food Line to pick up my grocery order. She goes, well, she said, me and Jacob were going to be downtown here in Kannapolis. She lives in Charlotte. She said, walking around, letting him play in the water, because they got like water fountains, water features, whatever. She said, they say you're not supposed to play in them, but everybody does. You don't climb in them. You just like walk by and get wet, because it sprinkles out all on the sidewalk where you're supposed to walk. So you just walk under it and get wet. Walk up and touch the sprinkling water. Big whoopee. So they went to her and her best friend. They went to the coffee house, and had some breakfast, and then they went down there and played. She said what she thought was that she'd be right here at us. He would be tired, and she could just come and let him take his nap here, because she's got the pack and play in her car. I said, that's perfectly fine, of course. Like I'm going to tell her no. I told her they was up in here. What? She come up in here a couple weeks ago when Sebastian was spending the night with her. They come to get his bicycle. And I went out there, walked around the car, and I opened the door, and my baby wasn't up in there. There is my baby. Well, his daddy had him. They was having a quiet morning alone. I said, you don't roll up in my house without that baby. Let's get that straight. I love you, but I need the baby. So they come up here yesterday. He come in, I had made him something to eat. He really wasn't hungry. And Holly was gorgeous. Lord, her face was as red as my shirt. She started new medicine. She said it keeps her hot, and that she was out in the heat. She was soaking wet. She was sweaty. She was red-faced. She was miserable. And she said, I said, you want something to eat? She goes, what I really want is a shower and just throw my clothes in the dryer. I said, well, honey, I got a sleep shirt. It'll swallow you whole. I said, but you can put that on and we'll wash your clothes. We'll wash his because he got wet. And she just took them off and let him run around in his diaper. She said when she took his clothes off, he was just all of a sudden like was freed, and he just started running around and laughing. And I said, he'd have run around naked if you'd have took that diaper off. She said 100%. So she got him into bed. He went right to sleep, no fussing or nothing. So she got her a good shower, and I washed their clothes, and I just had like a set of clothes because I had done my laundry and a couple pair of shorts of David's, so I had enough to make, halfway load of clothes. And so she was able to get clean, get the sweat off of her, sit down, relax a little bit while he slept. He slept 3 hours, and then he woke up, and she had got dressed and everything. Well, they didn't leave right away. They still stayed a while. Well, he wanted a snack. He found one of the Lucky Charms cereal bars, and he come in there. Okay. So he can say open. But she says, wait till you hear how he says it. And he come up with it on his own. She's teaching him open. And he says it on repeat. Oli, 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 oli. He come flying in the living room over up to me, carrying that cereal bar. Oli, 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 oli. I said, you want me to open that? Yeah. I told Holly, I got him some seaweed in there. He likes them seaweed snacks. Well, Holly eats them, so he eats everything Holly eats. And when I was at Publix, I seen them on this little end thing, like 10 for $1, $10 for 10, something like that. That was $1 a piece, put it that way. So I picked up 2 of them, so when he come over and looked in the snack area, he would see the seaweed and he'd want that. Well, I told her, I said, I got him some seaweed in there. She goes, oh, well, let me go get that. So she went in there, and Lord have mercy, I could hear him when she showed him that. He grabbed that thing, he come flying in there. Oli, 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 oli. So I opened that seaweed, and he was so excited. He could not wait. He was trying to help me get that paper off, that outer thing. It just comes in like a little clear plastic tray, and they're little rectangular sheets of seaweed, and they're as crunchy can be. They're very light, paper thin almost. Well, he wanted one. He couldn't get his finger down on one, so I got him one out. He shoved the whole thing in his mouth. He just went, pah, like that with his hand, and it like, what is a school bus? Hold on. Did school start? That bus was full of kids. They just had open house Monday or Tuesday. And they just started school. I got to get my school supplies up there. I thought they didn't start till next week. I thought they had a whole week of teacher. Oh my gosh, I got to get my school supplies took up there. So anyway, he crammed that seaweed in his mouth, and he would just have seaweed sticking all on the outside, not like duck lips. So he got to eating seaweed. Well, he'd come running up to me. He'd have that stuff in his mouth. He'd come up there. I got to whip that stuff. I told Holly, and she was eating it too. I said, it smells like aquarium. She said, it pretty much tastes like aquarium. I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, he got one, and he come up pointing it to me. He said, eat. I said, no, honey, that's all you. That's all you. Mama don't want none of that stuff. I can't stand to smell it, much less am I going to eat it. No, I am not. Well, David got it eaten down. He did it of it himself. And so he reached in, he grabbed the last probably 4 or 5 of them and crammed the whole wad in his mouth. And you talk about a big, fat, thick set of duck lips. Well, when he did that, I did, and he got tickled. So then I started doing, backing up, like I was all excited. He got tickled, and he was tickled. I'm going to tell you what, I had to vacuum this morning. I was too tired yesterday. Well, too tired after David went to work. He was asleep, which I could have vacuumed after he went to work, but I looked at him like, no, I'm too tired. So I vacuumed this morning. He had seaweed crumbs all over that living floor. So we come out here on the porch to sit down a minute, and he come out here and he gets the fly swat. I keep it over here because I got 2 of them. He's got this one little one he likes, the extended one, the one that extends. And he comes over here and he starts going, get, because that's what I was doing. That fly swat, I was getting after that ant that day. How many weeks ago, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I don't know, 2 months? He's remembered it ever since. And so when you go after a bug, he says, get. Well, he was over there, he said ant. He was looking for an ant, because there was ants all over his porch, so we couldn't hardly find them. Well, I spotted one of them little teeny weeny little piss ants. I'm sorry, that's what we call them. I said, there's one. He went up, he started slapping that thing, get. He's putting 2 words together. He's going up and down the porch going, more ant. He can't say more ants. It's more ants. When he wants something, it's more. Or he does his again sign. So you know he wants more, do it again. Whichever one, fits. I'm like, there was another something he said. He was putting 2 words together. I said, boy, he's doing good. He don't say his words clearly, but when he does say something, Holly understands his language as if it was a foreign language, and she took the class on it. He says something, and she repeated it back. He said, yeah. She said, when he says something, you repeat the word back. If that's what he said, he will tell you. Yeah. So, it was that little lantern I got over there. He said house. So that's what she said. I said, you do good. Cheese is east, because I know that one. He wants macaroni and cheese. Ice is ice. There's something he says. He adds a little oomph on the end of it that don't even go. But Holly was like, it's so sad thinking one day he's going to pronounce his words properly. She said, I'll forget all about how he said them now. I said, I know. That's why she said, we have to pay monthly cloud storage fees from all the videos I take. She said, because it makes me sad that one day I'm going to forget all these little things he did, and we'll just have all this video to look at. I said, I understand. I said, I've forgotten so much of what y'all said and did as part of what I don't remember that I understand completely. So now he's got this little ukulele. Did I tell y'all this? That she had, was I telling you or was I telling David? I can't remember. I think I was telling y'all. Where she had the music on. It was Post Malone singing country with other people and playing his guitar, and they was playing their guitars. She said as soon as he seen it, he ran to his room and got his ukulele and come up there and started strumming. So now it's a thing. And she played that with Willie Nelson, but that's his favorite one. There's one song that's his favorite one. He will stand there and play his guitar. She sent me a snap yesterday. He's actually holding it the right way now. When he first started, he would just hold it whichever way he could hold it. I mean, he had it the right hand, directionally, but he couldn't hold it like this way and then strum it, but he was. And he sings. He don't make a sound when he moves his mouth. He is picking and grinning. Lord have mercy, I love my grandbabies. That ain't even what we was talking about. We was talking about, it's more fun, how we get off track. Who wants to talk about that mess? Well, it really is something we do need to talk about. We can't stick our head in the sand and expect it to go away. I don't know, I think that's what I do about the news. If I stick my head in the sand, maybe it's not there, but your back end's still sticking up. Listen, your back end's sticking up and ready to get kicked, and you won't see it coming. So maybe there's a good argument for paying attention to things. We got to pay attention to what we eat, or we're just not going to do it. We got to pay attention to what we did in the past to try not to repeat it if it was not something that gave us a good result. We have to learn to eat properly. We have to learn to rise above our stress and our pressures and our sadnesses. We even have to rise above our happinesses if happinesses cause us to binge eat. Not saying binge eating is everybody's problem, but it is a lot of people's problem. It's not been mine this week. It's really not been mine in a while. I really hadn't binge eat anything. Honestly, since I've been on Ozempic, that has helped. So while it doesn't take away like everything, you still have to fight. It's another tool. It just adds on to the tool belt that I have. Some of the tools we have are just knowledge. Knowledge in what we're supposed to eat, how we're supposed to eat it. Just the knowledge of, or not even, I won't even say, well, sometimes what we have is willpower. Willpower is funny because sometimes you don't have willpower if you don't have willpower to have willpower. And I know some of y'all get exactly what I mean. It don't just jump on you and you're just like, I got the willpower. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to summon up the strength to practice that willpower. David, I always say, he's so much better at this than I am. He can say no. If he don't need to eat something, he can say no to it. Now he'll give in sometimes because, I mean, nobody's 100%. You just can't be. You still have to live your life. You still have to live your life. And sometimes that includes eating, something that you don't want to eat every day, but you do want to have it. Like, I'm never going to go the rest of my life without a piece of birthday cake. Come Jacob's birthday party at the end of this month, you better know I'm having cake. I sure am. Don't mean I'm going to eat a piece the size of my head, but I'm going to have some. I love birthday cake. But he is so, and when I tell him, he tells me, he goes, he has to fight it. He makes it look effortless. Like, he can just say no, I better not. But he says it's hard, it's a struggle. So he has learned to manage his willpower by just saying no. And even though he makes it look effortless, it's not. It's still a struggle for him to do it, but he's learned how to do it. I don't think it's a feeling. It is a practice that he has perfected. I won't say he perfected it, nothing's perfect. He has learned how to put it into action. He's done it enough to where it's easier than it was, even though it's still a struggle. I've put my, I don't think I had willpower this week because I felt pretty good. I felt pretty motivated. And why can't we stay motivated all the time? Those things we just talked about. Being tired, being stressed out, being hormonal, being ill about something, being happy about something. There's all kinds of things that life throws at us that causes us to want to turn to food. And the trick is figuring out how not to. That's the trick. Listen, I think we could probably boil this whole thing down to figure out how to get around life's little inconveniences, and we got it licked. Because even just a feeling of, I want to taste that, that's something that's thrown at us. Because you know how many times over my life I have eaten something just because I wanted to taste it, and how I have eaten it to the point of, oh my gosh, I feel miserable, just because I wanted to keep tasting it and keep tasting it and keep tasting it. And that's a binge. There's your binge. So we just got to learn how to deal with all these things that we run across in our life, and we've got to put our mind to it. Weight loss and Ozempic has not taken away my desire to have delicious food. I don't think about food all the time. The Ozempic has done that for me. That was my problem when I went to the doctor. I told her, I said, I can't stop thinking about food. I just want it all the time. And that's with the gastric bypass. She said, let's get you on Ozempic. We got to take care of that. And so it eventually did. It took till I got up to about the 1 milliliter dosage, which the highest is 2. And she said, since I'm doing good at 1, we don't really need to up it. It took away thinking about food all the time. So that's a tool that really helped. Being motivated helped me this week. I made my menu. I told myself, you've got to lose weight. You cannot keep going on that channel and saying, I gained weight. Guess what? I gained weight again. It's just, you just don't want to do it. I'm here to tell you, nobody wants to come on and say, well, I failed this week. Especially when they want to be an inspiration to somebody, that you want to. Well, now there is a fine line. While I do want to be an inspiration, I still want you to know that it's a true struggle, and that it's how life happens, and it's how a diet happens. It's how a weight loss journey happens. It's not linear. Weight loss is not. It's up and down. It's like a heartbeat. Anyway, let's figure out how to try to rise above all these things that life throws at us. Get you a plan. Sit down with some paper and a pencil, pen. Make you a plan. Get you a calendar if you need a calendar. Get you a notebook. Get you something. Sit down and make a plan. Make a plan for eating. Make a plan for exercising. Make a plan for, I don't know, whatever. Write something on paper. Get it figured out and stick to it. Plan to stick to it. So that's all I'm talking about today. I'm going to the house. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in the house and exercise before Dave gets home. Because I got to move. I got to tell Tracy that I moved. So that big old truck is our sign. We're going to go. I'm going to go in there and sort out my school supplies. Get that stuff tucked up there. I got 2 schools I'm going to take it to. Right here in my neighborhood. The elementary school and the middle school. That's where I'm going to take them. Because they're right here. Both of them's in my neighborhood. Yep. Just my neighborhood kids go to the elementary school, and everybody in town goes to the middle. There's an intermediate, that's the 5th and 6th grade, and the middle, that's the 7th and 8th grade. And both of those are all of town, and the high school's all of town. And then there's neighborhood elementary schools where the neighborhoods go to. So that's how our town is set up. So anyway, that's all I'm talking about today. All right, well, I will see you back. Unless something else happens, let's plan to do a live tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Okay, see you then.